All right, what's up, guys? We should be live, should be good to go. We got a 9-game Friday night slate to talk about. We do have some news to hit on that came out during the day. Some was expected, some was unexpected. First off, Zach LaVine, he got ruled out like an hour ago. That was kind of expected. Didn't really think Zach LaVine was going to play on the back-to-back. So he's already out. We're waiting for Kobe White news. Kobe White's questionable as well. So we'll have to pay attention to that. If Kobe White sits, then man, like without LaVine, without Lonzo, without Kobe White, without Caruso, should expect massive workloads for DeRozan, for Vooch, for Ayo. I think all three of those guys would be really good plays. I think Javonte Green would be a pretty good value play. He's been starting and getting good minutes, so I would like him for value for sure. And then the big news that came out during the day that was unexpected was James Harden ruled out. So no James Harden for Brooklyn, no Kevin Durant as well. Kyrie Irving, 10,300, I think is probably one of the better pay-up options on the slate. He's projecting out as one of the top plays overall. Utah's defense, without Gobert, they're just not as good. I think it's a pretty good spot for Kyrie. It's a really high total in that game. It should be a close game as well. I think Kyrie looks great now with Harden out. And if you want to play like Patty Mills, or maybe throw a dart on like a Cam Thomas, I think that's okay. But Kyrie looks like a great play now with Harden out. I did want to mention him. He's one of my favorite studs. I think I would put him towards the top of my list, along with those Bulls guys. I think both Vooch and DeRozan look really good as well. Like both of them a lot, now that Zach LaVine's out. And then we also got word from Portland. So Portland made a trade earlier today. No Robert Covington, no Norman Powell. They both got traded to the Clippers. I don't know if that changes too much on this slate, but I think it does make guys like CJ McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic, Anthony Simons look a little bit better. I think a guy like maybe CJ Ellaby as a punt option could be fine to go to. You would have to think without Covington, without Powell, CJ Ellaby probably plays like 22, 24 minutes. Like I think he's a viable punt play. I don't know if that Powell and Covington news is like massive, but it at least makes those Portland guys look a little bit more appealing. But the big one was Harden being out and then Zach LaVine getting ruled out. And we're still waiting for Pacers news. This is kind of important. So the Pacers already ruled out Goga, but we did get word that O'Shea Brissett is available to play. Right now, Terry Taylor's one of my favorite value plays if he starts. If he doesn't start, if they start O'Shea Brissett at center, then I would probably prefer O'Shea Brissett over Terry Taylor for value. We'll have to pay attention to that. That's going to be news to keep an eye on heading up until lock. Luckily, that Pacers game starts at 7, so we'll have that news before lock. But if you guys have questions for tonight, you can start throwing those in chat. We're going to try and answer all your guys' questions. We'll be live to about 6:30 Eastern. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. I appreciate all the support. If you're new and you have not yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. And if you have questions, you can start throwing those in chat. Nick asks, Goodwin or Mann? I would probably go Brandon Goodwin between the two. I think Trey Mann's viable. I think Trey Mann will play a lot, especially with Aaron Wiggins out. But I prefer Goodwin straight up. Thank you, brother, for all you do. What's your top 3 payout plays under 10K? Under 10K, both Bulls guys, Vooch and DeRozan, I think look really good without LaVine. And then outside of Vooch and DeRozan, probably like LeVert or Van Vliet, like one of those two guys, I would say next. Goodwin, Jalen Green, or Corey Joseph, give me Goodwin. Trey Mann, Jaylen Brown, and Vooch, or Simons, Jokic, and Ben McLemore. Give me the first there, Gabriel. Give me the first. Hit the like button, folks. Up, no. Can we fade Jokic on Yahoo? Had some big news today, and I like Vooch Nurk stack. I don't think you have to play Jokic now. Like, Jokic was a guy that I had a lot of interest in. I think Jokic is still a great play. But yeah, I think Vooch looks really good as well, and Vooch is obviously a lot cheaper. I think Vooch has massive upside here, going up against a pretty depleted Pacers front court. So I think given the savings, dropping down from Jokic to Vooch is something I'm definitely considering, because I like Vooch quite a bit. You still going to target one of the top tier studs like Jokic and Embiid, or would you target the second tier studs like DeRozan and Kyrie? I'm kind of leaning that way. DeRozan, Kyrie, Vooch, like those guys I think are where I'm trying to spend my salary today. I still think Jokic is a great play. I still think Embiid's a great play, but you can't play everybody. So, and me, I just play one lineup. I think in my one lineup tonight, I'm kind of leaning, DeRozan, Kyrie, Vooch is like my pay-up options. Mitchell, LeVert, Ingram, CJ, or Nurkic. Give me LeVert there between those. Kyrie's someone to prioritize now with Harden out. I think Kyrie's a really good play. He's going to be somewhat popular, but we saw him crush last time Harden was out against Golden State. He put up like almost 60 DraftKings points. Kyrie's workload is just going to be massive without Harden and without KD. So really like Kyrie. Scale of 1 to 10 on Bey. I mean, I think Sadiq Bey's in play. Obviously he had a massive game yesterday with Cade Cunningham out. I think Cade Cunningham being out does help Sadiq Bey. Obviously the spot against the Celtics is not good, but I don't think on the slate Sadiq Bey really gets much ownership, so as a low-owned play, I'm fine with it. I think his upside without Cade is a lot higher. What's up, Commissioner Breeze? What's up, my man? No, what's up, bro? Hope you had a good week. Here's to the weekend. Hey, same to you, my man. Same to you. Hope you had a good week and enjoy your weekend. Tobias Harris, Miles Bridges, or Evan Mobley. I'll go Evan Mobley between those three. Ben McLemore or Javonte Green. Give me Javonte Green. Also on Blazers new with Powell and Covington being traded. I mean, I don't think it changes too much. We kind of mentioned that. I think like CJ Ellaby as a punt option is fine. I think, the upside for guys like Norman Powell, or not Norman Powell, but Anthony Simons, CJ McCollum, I think their upside gets a little bit higher. Nurkic, I think, offers big upside, but I don't think it's like, slate-altering news to where I'm jamming in Portland guys. Kyrie or Fred VanVleet, considering only the $1 difference on Yahoo. I would say Kyrie. You staying with core plays or changing them with San Antonio news? The core plays, there shouldn't be anyone on San Antonio in the core plays unless I made an error. But it should be good. The core plays should be what I expect them to be. Let me see. So yeah, the thing we'll have to keep an eye on for core plays on Patreon is the news for Terry Taylor. Because if Terry Taylor doesn't start, then I'm probably going to get off of him. But the core plays are good to go for now. If you're talking about like the Spurs, I was expecting Dejounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, those guys to play. I didn't think they were going to be out. LeVert or Mitchell? Give me LeVert. Luka, Jokic, or Embiid? I would say Jokic. Fade Kyrie for Dejounte Murray. I mean, I think if you want to do that, I have no problems with that. I mean, Dejounte Murray's in a great spot against Houston. He's crushed against Houston this year. I mean, there's nothing that says Dejounte Murray can't outscore Kyrie today. So if you want to make that pivot in tournaments, I have no problems with it. Professional Sports Showcase. What's up, my man? What's up? Hayes, Hunter, or Herter if Collins is out? If Collins is out, I think that's a little boost for Hunter and Herter. Probably would go Hunter there if Collins is out. Probably would take Hunter regardless, though. Are you on Irving now that Harden's out? I think Irving's a great play. Right now, he's in my main lineup. I haven't, obviously, it's, we still got 40 minutes till lock. I can make some changes, but for now, Kyrie is in my main lineup. Giddey or DeSomo, or go with both? I mean, I think if Kobe White gets ruled out, Ayo is going to be a really good play because Ayo is going to play 40, 41 minutes. I mean, they've been playing Ayo a ton, and I think without Kobe White, without Levine, without Lonzo, without Caruso, Ayo should play huge minutes. So I would really like Ayo if Kobe White sits. I think you could still play Ayo regardless, but he would look better if Kobe White's out. And then Giddey, I mean, I'm fine with Giddey, and I think Giddey's upside without SGA is definitely there. Between the two, I would prefer Ayo given the savings. But I think both are in play. How's Kevin Love looking for tonight? I'm not really on Kevin Love. I haven't really been on Kevin Love much this season. He's been really good, but his minutes have just not been the best. He's going to play mid-20s minutes. He's priced almost at 7K. I don't really ever target Kevin Love now at his price point. Kyrie fade. I mean, if you wanted to fade Kyrie, you can do it. It's your lineup. Me personally, Kyrie's in my lineup right now, full transparency, but you guys do what you want. In the end, it's your lineup. You play what you want. Irving, Young, or Murray. I would still take Kyrie there, but I think Dejounte Murray, if you want to pivot off Kyrie, that's probably the best option with just as much upside. Trey Mann or Baisley? Give me Trey Mann. Ball, Siakam, DeRozan, or Vooch? It's one of the Chicago guys, so either DeRozan or Vooch. I don't have much of a preference between DeRozan or Vooch. I think both are really good. Maybe slight lean to DeRozan, but I really like both guys. Favorite small forward on Yahoo? It's probably Jetty Osman. Pascal, if Gay and Whiteside are out. I think Eric Pascal, if Rudy Gay gets ruled out and Whiteside is out as well, I'm guessing they would start Azubuike at center again, but you would probably see Eric Pascal play a lot off the bench. They would probably use him as a small ball 5. So I think Eric Pascal would actually be a pretty good value play if Whiteside and Gay are both out. That'll be news to keep an eye on. VanVleet, J-Val, or Christian Wood? Give me VanVleet. Donovan Mitchell or Josh Giddey? Slight lean to Giddey. I'm a little bit worried about Mitchell. First game back in 2 weeks. He might be on a minutes limit. I haven't seen anything reported of him being limited. But, first game back in 2 weeks does concern me a little bit for Donovan Mitchell, so I would probably side with Giddey. Is Jokic okay? I mean, I think Jokic is a great play, man. No issues with Jokic at all. Jokic is a good play every slate. Good evening, Noah. Hey, good evening, Cincy D. Good evening, my man. Jetty Osman or Javonte Green? I would take Jetty Osman if you have a salary. Love or Allen? I would take Allen. Irving or Murray? Again, I prefer Kyrie, but I think both are pretty good plays. Jackson Hayes in play? Probably not. Jackson Hayes has been starting, but he might go back to the bench today. I don't really know. Even if Jackson Hayes does start, I don't think I'd be on him. Just too many other guys I prefer on this slate. Fine to play DeMar and Vooch together. I think you can definitely do that. It's just, with Lonzo out, with Levine out, I mean, it's going to be Vooch and DeMar, dominating the usage. And it wouldn't be surprising to see both those guys put up, 50, 55 DK points. So you can definitely play both. What do you think of Luka or Ao, Matthews, Taylor, Jokic, man, good one? I mean, I think that's solid, David. Again, we're waiting for the Pacers starting lineup, because if Terry Taylor doesn't start, I'm probably going to get off of him. But if Terry Taylor is starting, I think he's a pretty good value. I think with O'Shea Brissett available to play, though, there's a chance they could start O'Shea Brissett at center, not Terry Taylor. Thoughts on Pirtle for $27 on Yahoo. Went for 40 fantasy points in 20 minutes against Houston last week. I mean, I don't mind Pirtle. It's a really good matchup. There's just other centers I prefer on Yahoo. I'd rather get to Vooch. You have J-Val and Jared Allen in that same price range that I like a lot too. But like Vooch is definitely my favorite center on Yahoo. So if I'm playing Vooch, I don't know if I'd get to Pirtle unless I would play him like at the util. Would be your max amount of players from the Chicago Indy game? Man, like that's probably the most appealing game on the slate in my opinion. I think my main lineup right now, I have like maybe 5 guys in that lineup, or 5 guys in that game, like no joke. Yeah, I've got 4 guys in that game right now. I mean, I could definitely see playing 4, maybe 5. I mean, just a lot of the best plays on this slate, in my opinion, are coming from that Chicago Indy game. Vooch or Nurkic? I would take Vooch. Will Murray go low owned? I mean, I think on this slate, Dejounte Murray will be fairly low owned. I can check his ownership projection, see what that says. Right now, it's 22.2%, so not as low as I expected. But Kyrie, for example, Kyrie's a similar price point. Kyrie is 40%, so that's like a pivot you can make in tournaments. You're not getting there's not a massive difference in ownership there, but if you want to play a guy like Dejounte Murray over Kyrie for the less ownership, it's fine with me. Any interest in Jalen Green? Probably not, man. Like I just haven't been on the Rockets this year. I think if I'd playing anyone on the Rockets today, it would be Christian Wood or KPJ. Outside of those two, I'm not really that excited about many other Rockets. Best small forward and power forward on Yahoo? Probably like DeRozan at power forward if you can fit him. As small forward, I like Jetty Osman. 4,600 at forward. Good call on Mitchell last night. 4,600 at forward. Let's take a look. Yeah, Davion Mitchell, he crushed last night. The freaking Kings were, as a team, they were terrible, but Davion played really well. 4,600 at forward, I would probably go... I mean, if Terry Taylor starts at center, he would be my favorite play there. He's 4,200. But we're still waiting for the Pacers starting lineup. We should get it somewhat soon. Hopefully, around the end of the stream, we'll get that Pacers starting lineup. Mitchell, CJ Harris, or Nurkic? Give me Nurkic there. Any love for Marcus Smart? Not really. The Celtics, I mean, they might be like one of the least appealing teams on the slate, in my opinion. There's just not much that stands out from Boston. I like Kevin Love. Thoughts on him, even though he's not starting? I mean, Kevin Love's been great on a point per minute basis this year, but he's just not playing enough minutes for my liking. I mean, he's projected for 26 minutes right now, which, Kevin Love could put up 40 fantasy points in 26 minutes, and I would not be surprised. But I just don't want to bank on that. I think at his price point, like Kevin Love is just a guy I'm fine avoiding. And if Kevin Love goes out there and puts up 45 in 25 minutes, then, oh well. Best center under 4,500 if Taylor doesn't start. If Taylor doesn't start, I'm guessing they would start O'Shea Brissett. So O'Shea Brissett would be the guy to go to. So it's either going to be Taylor or Brissett at starting, I would assume. So if Taylor doesn't start, you could just swap to Brissett. Bridges, Giddey, Allen, or OG? Give me Giddey there. Jaylen Brown or Ingram? Give me Jaylen Brown. Taylor or Dosunmu? If Kobe White gets ruled out, I would prefer Dosunmu if I had to pick one. Do you like Herter? I mean, not really. Like, I think if John Collins gets ruled out, that's, I guess, a little bump up for Kevin Herter. But usually when Trey is healthy, I just really don't ever play Kevin Herter. Thoughts on Şengün? I'm not really on Şengün. Just when Christian Wood's healthy, when all the bigs are healthy, just never someone that stands out. And on a 9-game slate, like I don't think I'd be playing Şengün. The projections that I use, like they have Şengün projecting out as a good point per dollar play, but that's not something I'd be chasing personally. Nurkic, Ingram, or Mitchell? Give me Nurkic there. 5,300 util. Let's take a look. 5,300 the util. I would probably say like, man, there ain't much I like it in 5,300. I mean, you're probably looking at like, God, maybe Claxton, like going up against Whiteside. Like I don't think it's that bad of a spot for Claxton, and Claxton looked great last game. Claxton's been a super frustrating player to roster, but like I think he'd be the guy to take there. Or, one of the Pacers bigs, whether it's Taylor or Brissett, if you wanted to go cheap and go with them. $21 Ford, let me see. $21 at Ford on Yahoo. Let's take a look. I would go Dort there for sure. I would take Dort. Frank Jackson. I think Frank Jackson's in play. Yesterday with Cade out, Frank Jackson, he came off the bench, but he played good minutes. I mean, he played like, I want to say upper 20s in minutes. Yeah, 27 minutes for Frank Jackson yesterday with Cade out. The matchup today against Boston, obviously not nearly as good, but like I think Frank Jackson plays, high 20s minutes. He's 3,900. He should be low owned on this slate. Like if you want to go there in tournaments, I don't hate it. He's in play for me as like a low owned, a low owned option. Not basketball related, but I bet it would be super fun to kick it with you and watch some ball. Hey man, like I'll be honest, when I watch games, I have action. I'm always sweating something. So like when I'm watching games, dude, it's just I'm fully locked in. I'm usually like tilting my face off because I have, I'm taking the points on somebody and I'm just watching him go up the court and miss every shot he takes. But I enjoy watching games. Yeah, man, when I'm watching my games, I'm usually tilting my face off. I can't even just sit down and watch games and enjoy them just because, I always have action in. I'm always sweating something. 3 Brooklyn players in one lineup. I mean, I don't know if I would be doing that. Like, obviously, if you're probably playing Kyrie. The other 2 guys, I mean, maybe you could play like Patty Mills and Claxton or something, but I don't know if I'd be playing 3 nets. Like, I don't know if there's enough that stands out from Brooklyn that I would want to play 3 nets. Kyrie's the one guy I like from Brooklyn. Given the Powell-Rocco trade, any Portland players interest you? We kind of talked about that earlier. I don't think it makes a massive difference on this slate, but if you want to go to like Anthony Simons or McCollum or Nurkic, I don't mind it. If you want to take a dart throw on CJ Ellaby, that's fine, but there's not a ton I love from Portland today. Wood or Vooch? I would take Vooch. Scotty or Dort? Slight lean to Dort there if I had to pick one. You expect McLemore to start for Portland with Powell and Covington out? I don't think so. I'm thinking they're going to start probably Tony Snell and Larry Nance if I had to guess, but I really don't know. That's just a total guess. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's one of the late games, so we're not going to get Portland's starting lineup till way after lock. Kyrie or LeVert? I'll take Kyrie. Why are you so high on Osman? He has no upside. I mean, Osman's been playing a ton. Ever since Darius Garland got ruled out, the minutes have just been massive for Cedi Osman. Now, the production has been, not great, but you look the first game against the Pelicans, he shot the ball god-awful, 3 for 16. I will say that he did start at point guard that game. He had 12 assists that day. I think Cedi Osman, when he was starting at point guard, that was really good for him. But the minutes are the main thing. Like, he's still going to play huge minutes. It's a good matchup against Charlotte. Cedi Osman's normally been a decent point per minute player. So if we're going to get like 36 minutes from him, I mean, given his point per minute rates on the season, he projects for like 30 DraftKings points, which is pretty good at 5,400. It's mainly just the minutes thing. Ever since Darius Garland has been out, it's just been massive boost in minutes for Cedi Osman. But I do agree that I think when he started at point guard the game before last game, that was really good for him. Who you like, $31 or lower at Ford? Let's see. I would probably take like Evan Mobley or OG. Probably one of those 2 I would go with. Any value centers? I mean, you're probably looking at Indiana, so If Terry Taylor starts a center, he's going to be a value play. He's center eligible on DraftKings. If O'Shea Brissett starts a center, then I would like O'Shea Brissett for value. So it's going to be a pacer guy you're probably looking to. Best value play today. Sorry, I just joined right now. I mean, value-wise, we're going to have to wait and see who the Pacers start. Whoever starts a center between Taylor or Brissett, I think is going to be a pretty good value. I think Ayo's a pretty good value, especially if Kobe White gets ruled out. Javonte Green, I kind of like for value. He's really cheap. He's been playing big minutes. Those are kind of the main guys I'm looking to for value right now, at least. Dort or Bay? I would probably go Dort. Feed the Nurk tonight. I mean, Nurk, man, like Nurk can go off any night against OKC. Like OKC, they don't have like a good defensive big. It's probably going to be Derek Favors out there guarding Nurkic. I mean, Nurkic can put up like 50 any night. Am I going to play Nurkic on this slate? In my one lineup, probably not. But that doesn't mean that Nurkic, can't go off against OKC. It's just that there's other centers that I prefer today. Any interest in Pacers other than Brissett and Taylor? I mean, I think Karis LeVert's still in play. I think Karis LeVert, if this is a close game, he's going to play high 30s minutes. His usage should be massive, without Sabonis, without Brogdon, without Turner. So I still think Karis LeVert's a pretty good play. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. Also, Mitchell. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell, I'm not really that high on. A little bit worried about his first game back. He hasn't played in like 2.5 weeks. Could maybe be on a minutes limit. There's just too many other guys I prefer today. Treyman, Kylie Taylor, if he starts, DeAndre Hunter, DeRozan, Seti, Vooch, and Nurkic, Yahoo lineup. I mean, I think that's solid, Steven. I think that's solid. Man, Jalen Green, or Joseph. Give me Trey, man. Tobias Harris or Donovan Mitchell. Give me, man. I mean, I would take Donovan Mitchell there over Tobias Harris. Yeah, I would take Donovan Mitchell over Harris, just straight up. Steph Curry hurt me last night. Yeah, Steph, it was a bad game from Steph. It was basically a Clay game. Clay went off last night, and that hurt Steph. I can't remember what Steph finished with his final box score, but I know Clay went nuts last night. Giddey, Christian Wood, or Jared Allen. Give me Giddey there between the three. Vassell or Gay if he plays. Probably Dem Vassell. Okay, we just get word that Kobe White is out, so yeah, I think that's pretty good for Ayo. I think Ayo is going to play a ton of minutes. I really like Ayo on this slate. I mean, Ayo's minutes have been like in the high 40s. I mean, 42 last game. I know that game went to overtime, but 36, 34, 36, 38. Now no Kobe White, no Zach LaVine. I think Ayo plays like 40 minutes. I think DeRozan and Vooch play big minutes. They should have massive usage, or their usage should be massive. I think all three of those guys look really good. DeRozan, Vooch, Ayo, even Javonte Green, I don't mind for value. Lots of light from the Bulls tonight. The Bulls are definitely a team worth targeting. We'll have to wait and see what their starting lineup is, too. I'm guessing it'll be Ayo, DeRozan, Vooch, Javonte, and then I don't know who the fifth guy will be. Maybe like Troy Brown. I mean, like if Troy Brown starts, you can maybe go there. Yeah. I had Ayo as a core play, so kind of glad Kobe White's out, so I don't have to make any changes there. Would you play Brissett and Taylor together? Probably not. Probably not. I guess there's a possibility that those are the two centers, and they basically just split the center minutes. So really, whichever one starts between Brissett and Taylor, that's the one I'm going to prefer. Right now, I think Taylor will start, especially because he played so well last game, but we don't really know. I'm pretty sure Terry Taylor, like I want to look up his, pretty sure the dude's like not even a center. Because on Yahoo, they have Terry Taylor as a shooting guard. So Terry Taylor is 6'5". Like I don't even think he's a center. Like he's a shooting guard, but they're just kind of playing him at center right now because they don't have a choice. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, the dude's a 6'5". On Google, it says he's a small forward shooting guard, and he's 6'5". It's kind of crazy. All right, boys, my girlfriend's in the chat right now, so I'm gonna have to hop off here in a second. I saw your FaceTime, but I couldn't answer it right now. I'm working. I'm gonna see some last few questions, and we're gonna hop out of here. Probably a tough question, but any utility plays under 3.4K on DK, my last spot for some good value. I mean, if you're looking under 3.4K, you're probably... Man, like, I mean, if you could get to, like, Javonte Green, like, that's where I'd want to go, is, like, Javonte Green at 3,500. But under 3.4K, you're probably looking at, like, CJ Ellaby, if you're looking for someone that cheap. Dorton Wood or Mills and Nurkic. Give me Dorton Wood there. Goodwin a good play today? I think Brandon Goodwin's a pretty good play. You know, if he's still starting, I think he'll play over 30 minutes. It's a good matchup against Charlotte. He's still fairly cheap. He's been good the last 2 games, you know, getting minutes in place of Darius Garland. So if Brandon Goodwin's starting, I think he's a really good play. He's a guy that I do like for value as well. And I'm guessing he will start. I think we already got the Cavs starting lineup and he's in there. $30 util on Yahoo. I'm thinking Mobley. I would think Mobley would be fine there. Yeah, Mobley or like CJ McCollum, Jared Allen, even J-Val I kind of like. We kind of talked about that earlier. Like, I think J-Val's minutes are going to be massive here. I think they're going to have to play J-Val with Jokic. Like, I don't think they want anyone else out there against Jokic. So, like, J-Val might play like 36 minutes tonight. I like J-Val's upside quite a bit. All right, guys, I got to hop off out of here. It's my girlfriend's birthday today, so we're about to go out to dinner. I wish you guys the best of luck tonight, though. We'll be back on Monday. Hope you guys have a really good weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Best of luck. We'll see you guys Monday. Peace out, fellas.